In this video, I look at appeal decisions relevant to outbuildings, with specific regard to the limitation E1C. The proposed outbuilding cannot be built if any part would be situated on land forward of a wall forming the principal elevation of the original dwelling house. I'll be looking at how the qualifier original can make a big difference to the outcome. The property is a historic toll house on a road running north-south. The appellant wanted to erect a double garage on the north side of the house on the basis that the west-facing elevation was the principal elevation. The council refused the application, stating the north elevation was the principal elevation and that the projected building would be situated on land forward of a wall forming the principal elevation. The appeals inspector took advice from a heritage consultant who concluded that the principal elevation of the original dwelling was to the south, based on historical maps and an appreciation of the relationship between the toll house and the route into the historic settlement of Blackmore Village, which was to the north of the site. On this basis, the inspector allowed the appeal, permitting the appellant to erect the garage in the location desired. This property comprises a cottage and a terrace of garages spread across a large site. The appellant wanted to replace the garage buildings with a gym and garage outbuilding and applied for an LDC to this effect. The council rejected the application, citing limitation E1C. The proposed outbuilding cannot be built if any part would be situated on land forward of a wall forming the principal elevation of the original dwelling house. Their argument was the objective for the limitation was to allow the council to assess any structures that might have a substantial impact on the street scene. Upon appeal, the inspector stated that his brief was not to consider the objective for the limitation, but to apply the actual wording of clause E1C to the facts of the case. The first obligation of the inspector was to identify the form of the original structure. An examination of the original plans showed a modest structure with two main rooms, with the sole entrance on the northeast elevation facing the main highway. The building had been substantially altered since the original construction, as the main entrance was now to the south of the property. This elevation was currently seen as the front of the house. As the limitation at Class E1C specifically refers to the original dwelling house, the principal elevation is the northeast elevation. It follows that the proposed outbuilding will not be in front of the principal elevation. To summarise, the qualifying word original had a big impact on the inspector's decisions in both of these cases. It allowed the toll house occupier to obtain approval for a double garage, and for the cottage dweller to obtain approval for the conversion of the garage units. If you're thinking of pressing the like or subscribe buttons, thank you very much. Next week, I'm looking at appeal decisions that required the inspector to review the original structure. Thanks for watching. See you next week.